What's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for me. This is Drinks with JD.
Man, I've always loved hip hop, man. It's been my one true love, I think, since I was a kid, man. I used to look at rappers like they were superheroes.
Yeah.
And me rapping was always like a superpower, you know. So I would just look at it, man, and I just think at first, like, I started off with artists like XXXTentacion, and they're like, this guy was just like insane, man. Another level, doing different genres.
Yes.
But he was still a rapper. I just always looked at it like it was like superpowers, man, like Superman, you know, he's flying.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's how I always looked at rappers. And so for me, like, you know, from the time I was a kid, my parents were always working, you know what I mean? My dad was a single father for like a really long time. So he had to go out and support me, and, you know, he wasn't, it's not that he wasn't around, he was just working.
Yeah.
You know, so he'd get off late. And so I would just, to pass time being by myself, I just started rapping as like a way to kind of like express myself and kind of have fun. And but one of the things is in hip hop is like, it's like usually like people who look like me don't really like, I want to say like are accepted.
You think so?
I want to say so, or they're put in their own little lane. Like, I don't consider myself to be a white rapper. I just consider myself to be just a rapper and an artist. You know, I'm both, but I'm a rapper too. But like, I don't want to get put in that box because I think race is stupid. Like, so
yeah, because we argue with just the pigmentation of our skin. Like, well, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's dumb because we're still human, man. We're just human, you know.
And like one of the things growing up, man, is people used to always be like, oh, like you're white and da. And so like and where I grew up, you know, some of the Mexican kids, you know, they were not always nice, you know, to white people. They didn't like white people. Yes. So I've always felt kind of awkward in school. So for me, rapping was like my way to, you know, be cool. I was like, I'm gonna get this superpower, man, and I'm gonna just start going. And so when I started, I used to get made fun of bad. Like I got bullied, you know, for pretty much the entirety of school, like, just getting bullied, picked on for my music, but I always understood that that's a side effect of the environment that I'm from.
That's not something that you didn't let it close you up and like not pursue it.
I've had moments where I wanted it to, but I've always put the love above everything else, man. Hip hop is one of the, I wouldn't say it's the only genre. I don't know if that's true, and I don't want to disrespect the other genres, but to me, hip hop is the only genre where you can make something from nothing. That's what it's all about. You don't have this opportunity, so you pop the trunk. You know what I mean? You look up to these icons like Nipsey Hussle, man. You look at all the guys in New York like Rakim, Eric B, all these East Coast artists, West Coast artists. You look at Dr. Dre, right? These guys didn't have no major budget studio sessions, man. They would get in the studio, they pop the trunk, and they just sell it out the trunk.
Yeah, they had the love for it.
It's the love.
Yeah, they just created nothing or something out of nothing.
Yeah, and that's hip hop to me, man. Right. And so for me, I was always popping the trunk. I was in middle school selling CDs. I was slanging CDs, and it was not good music. Don't get me wrong, like it was bad music, and I didn't want to take myself seriously because I felt kind of insecure just about my skin. So I would just kind of make like these goofy, funny raps, trying to be Mr. Funny Guy, because I wanted people to like accept me, but I didn't want to show them who I really was. So I was just going around just selling CDs, man, trying to rap. And I just would always look at it, man. I'd just be like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like I love hip hop, and I love music as a whole. Like I don't just make hip hop music, but hip hop, man, that's my love.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so I told myself, real hip hop, you don't gotta change yourself to be a part of hip hop, man.
Right.
Hip hop is it's expression. It's just being your most authentic self, popping the trunk, making things happen, making something from nothing. That's hip hop. Starting everything from the ground up and becoming a success. All the icons of hip hop, Jay-Z, Kanye, Eminem, Dr. Dre, all these huge artists, Lil Wayne, all these guys don't come from these amazing environments. You know, Jay-Z used to sell drugs. Kanye West lived in Chicago. He was broke, couldn't turn his lights on. He was just selling beats. He was a producer, man. And so like all these people, I'm not gonna change myself to fit this mold of what you think a rapper is because that's not hip hop. Like hip hop is not conforming. It's being an individual. It's standing out and, you know, being whoever you think that you are. Just standing on a mic and just be like, this is me. And if you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, so that was always what I envisioned with hip hop, especially as I got older. And you get enough hate where it's just like, when people show you enough hate like that and people really just go to your school, they mess with you, they mess with. At the time, I had a girlfriend. People used to mess with my girlfriend because they didn't like me, you know. And it's just jealousy. Yeah. So it's just like when I get on there, man, I be like, this is hip hop, man. This is me. Yeah. So I don't.
That's amazing.
I'm not gonna change myself, you know. But there were moments where I definitely felt like man, like maybe I don't belong in hip hop. You know, like looking at my skin. Obviously, I don't look like a rapper. Do you
think so?
I mean, now I do because the way I dress, but the way I used to dress, no.
Well, overall, like you're saying, right? The reason why I want to, I guess, argue that is because, like we were just saying, just be you. Hip hop is that. It's just, I mean, you could go from, let's say, okay, let's just talk pigmentation, right? So let's say, obviously, you know, one of the greats, Eminem, right?
Yeah.
He's from, you know, the Midwest, and then you come down south and an amazing artist, you know, Paul Wall. You know what I'm saying? But like both of them, let's say same pigmentation, but at the same time they made their own lanes. And even let's say the new generation with Post Malone. You know what I'm saying? Like all three of them sound different. Yeah. All three of them, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, but overall they're just themselves. Yeah. You know?
Well, one of the things, Eminem not as much, but Paul Wall, one of the things I really loved about him is he never got put in that box of being like, know, a white rapper. I'm from Texas, man. I know. Yeah. Nobody looks at Paul Wall and like, this is a white rapper.
That's right.
But you look at Eminem. Eminem took that and was like, oh, I'm white. Like I don't want to be the voice of white rappers. I don't want you know some person to look at me and be like, oh, that's a white rapper. Like, no, bro. Like that. I take that as an insult because you're boxing me in off of my skin color, and race is not even real. Like it's not real, and I think it's stupid.
That shade of your pigmentation. You know what I'm saying? Just shade of your skin.
I genuinely think that it's one of the stupidest things ever that you have to put like your ethnicity on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter because there are, and we'll talk about it. You know, there are black people who act white. There are Asian people, you know, who act like Mexican. You know, like there's. Your race doesn't really define you because it's all cultural. Yes, it's all culture. And there's people who identify with different cultures, and so and I respect culture and I love culture and I love learning about different cultures. Man, one of my goals is to be the biggest artist globally. You know, not just America, but like everywhere. All over the world because I love culture. I just want to be a part and contribute to as much cultures as I can. So race, it's just another way for people to divide us. You know, and when people talk about race and, you know, they say like, oh, you can't do this because you look like that, you're just as much as the problem as, you know, like why are we still segregating people based off race? It doesn't say anything because you've seen like, you know, white kids grow up in a hood around the bush, but they don't act white. You take they might be able to look like, you know, they're a different.
You know,
person.
that's something that I love about San Diego growing up in San Diego because you know, I grew up with just literally all ethnicities. You know, and it's just awesome that we're able to grow up like that. But then, let's say, being in the military, going somewhere else, and then understanding how some people didn't grow up like that. You know, where they weren't as accepting, and they carry hate that's just generated from nothing. Yeah. So, but
and one of my biggest prayers, I think, to God is just to take the hate out of my heart. You know, because one of the things, man, is like I used to be very angry with people because of the way that they would treat me. You know, and I always felt like I was worth more than like the way people would treat me sometimes. So one of the biggest things I think in my faith was just always just praying like, God, take the hate out of my heart. Like I want to put love out into the world, man. Because that's what we came here to do, to spread love. And that's another thing that hip hop is all about, man, just spreading love. That's right. And the music as a whole, it's life, it's a heartbeat. Everybody's got the rhythm of their own heart. And so that's what music highlights, man. So just putting that out. you can't take things and marginalize them, because you marginalize them into oblivion, and then we get so caught up on these politics, and then we divide people, and then when people are divided, like, I don't know if you ever read like The Art of War or anything like that, like you divide the forces, it's easier to conquer. It's easier to conquer. So that's how people, you know, can say things and get us to believe certain things and hate different groups
and fight
of people
amongst each other while they do the scheming.
Exactly, and that's when they seize power. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why race is such a prevalent thing, and that's why, you know, I support, you know, everything that's loving and everything, you know, everything that comes from God. That's what I'm about. Spreading love, and especially through music, man. I make all different kinds of music because I want to touch as many hearts as possible. Yeah. So with this thing with race, man, I've had situations in my life where people, you know, have told me like, oh, you can't do this because of your skin color, you know, and I wouldn't say it's discrimination, as it's more of just like, it's fucking dumb, because like I've been in quinces, like I've done, like I know how to cumbia, like I know how to do a bunch of different things. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I've been to the projects in Baltimore. I've been to a cookout. Like there's so many different things, man. It's just like, just putting that love out into the world. I don't see myself as you know, like a white person. I just see myself as a person. I think if more people thought like that, I think people would be a lot happier, better place, man. Yeah. So that was always like a big thing, like for me. I don't remember the question. But.
No, don't worry about it. Okay, so right now we're mentioning artists, right? So what artists have inspired you?
Oh man. So I'll always say XXXTentacion will be the most impactful artist on my life. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. But yeah, he will always be the most impactful artist on my life, man. Without him, I don't think I would be doing music, because that was, I started off really liking Eminem when I was a kid. But then I got bullied a lot because people would always be like, I was rapping and be like, well, why are you trying to be like Eminem? Like I've had people call me Slim Shady and stuff. So I've always tried to like shed that. I'm like, I don't want to sound like Eminem. I just want to be me. So I want to say X. One of the things I really appreciated about him is like, he cared about the youth a lot, and that is something that I genuinely care about too. Just impacting the youth and being a good example. You know, I don't take drugs. I don't do alcohol. I don't condemn people who do that, right? And you know, sometimes in songs, like I like to make party songs. I like to have fun too. But like as of like the youth, like speaking to that. The kids,
just being a good mentor.
The kids need somebody to look up to, and one of the things I appreciated about X was he was just such a positive force. I think when he was coming up, he came from such a negative environment, but you saw like him try to change, you know, and it was really tragic when he passed away, because I think he was really starting to shape the youth and make things a lot better. He was putting on a bunch of artists, and I believe that, you know, he was gonna be like big, like not like Juice WRLD was big, and I think Juice WRLD had a similar impact. But for me, I'll always be an X loyalist over Juice WRLD, because I feel like Juice WRLD was inspired a lot by X, and X was like the originator, and I love originators because you know, hip hop. Of course. Yeah. So I would just look at X like, this is the guy, man. He was making. I think if I could replicate a career, is like I would want my career to be like what his would have looked like if he was still around. But yeah, I think X was the most impactful for me. And then I think my favorite artist, I like Kanye a lot. And he does crazy stuff in the news, so I'm not gonna get too political.
But he's also a true artist.
That is one of the things I really respect about him, and I'm not gonna get political with it. If you don't like my opinion, like fuck you, I don't care. But I like Kanye West, and his music has been like one of the most.
He's a true artist.
He's a true artist. I listen to his music, and I'm like, okay, I love the way he did this. You know,
every single album is different.
It's different, and I love that, because the music is living and breathing. And it replicates, you know, different aspects of his life. Whereas, like, you know, somebody like Drake. Drake makes hits, and that is one thing I really look up to Drake for. That I've studied Drake a lot because I'm looking to make those hits. But I don't think Drake has music like how Kanye has music, where it's him in different eras of his life,
of his own life.
You can listen to 808s and Heartbreak. This is Kanye when his mom died. He was depressed, right? and then he starts to get crazy, you know, on Yeezus, and he has to come back, and then he, you know, the music just represents different things, and so that's something I think that I want my music to do. Obviously, right now, it's a little bit harder because I'm looking to make those hits so I can get on. But like I think if I was to be put in that position,
you think there's pressure though? Huh? You think you put pressure on yourself because of that?
I think I put pressure on myself no matter what I do because I want to do it in the most impactful way and in the way that's going to touch the most amount of people. And I think I put pressure on myself because I want to be the best of all time. And I put pressure on myself because I want to be remembered and I want to have a legacy. Right now.
But is it hard though? Because it's like
putting pressure on myself.
Well, let's say to create the hits. You know what I'm saying? Because you just said that your music is different because you want to make the hits. Like, is that pressure? Like, is that too much pressure?
No.
Like to let's say maybe even to be authentic with yourself because you just want to create instead of saying, oh man, I gotta make a hit. I gotta make a hit.
I don't think that way.
Okay.
I don't think that way. I think making music, just doing music, it's not pressure. It's relief. It's the most fun part of everything.
All right.
The harder part is marketing. The harder part is going and meeting people and trying to get the music to the fans.
Yes.
I don't like a big part of me. I just want to create, but I have to be a businessman. Yes. I have to go and I have to market and I have to keep relationships with people, and if I wasn't doing music, I probably wouldn't talk to them.
Yes.
And I love everyone who shows me love and shows support, so I don't want to seem ungrateful.
No, yeah. But it's still a music business.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a business. But for me, the fun part is the creating and being in the studio. If I could be in the studio 3 hours a day, I would be in the studio 3 hours a day making 12 songs every day, just having fun. But life doesn't always work that way, and you gotta
especially
work
full-time
hard.
Job and everything. Yeah, all that.
Life is war. You gotta be willing to fight for what you want because nobody's gonna give you your dreams. You gotta sit there and if you want something, you gotta go after it.
That's right.
And you gotta go after it like ferociously. You can't get distracted. And for me, I want to be a global artist. Like I want to be like the biggest artist.
And no one's gonna hand it to you.
I'm going to be. It's just that like I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the world, but it's just like I have to go through these steps where I'm fighting, always fighting, trying to get to that, trying to reach those new heights. And it's like how do I reach those new heights? So when I'm writing, I'm pushing myself, and everything that's from my music is just an authentic thought that I've had. I don't make things to please people. I make things because it's fun and I think it's cool. Like if I talk about, I'm making music that I think is fun and music that I like, and people get caught up on like in hip hop, like, is it real? Like it's a real thought that I had. Like, why does everything in music need to represent my life? Right. And another thing I want to say is like, sometimes what's funny to me is like, people will get like so caught up on like music and if the lyrics are accurate, but when their favorite rapper goes to jail, the rapper's always gonna be like, no, it was just music, like it was just a song, like da-da-da. So we have this double standard in hip hop.
Like what's the Young Thug's acronym?
Yeah.
what's Thug? What is it? He said something.
Truly humble before God. Like something like that. Truly humble under God.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's hilarious. Well, overall, okay. Let's say me, right? You know that I studied you before you came in here, right? And after hearing a lot of your catalog, right now you're mentioning how we're gonna talk about older stuff, but when I was listening to your entire catalog, you make some awesome music, man. You make some awesome music, and I like that. Well, first of all, you gained a fan, right?
Thanks, bro.
And I'm just happy that you stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
And that you just create, man. Because I mean, like I said, you just make some good music, and I'm happy that I was able to listen to your catalog and know that you're a true artist. All right, man. So why the name Deepside?